Well, hello, Winky Whispers. Hello, Lisa54. Um, Usually I try to be courteous and not go live when other people are live, but considering we have people on this platform that go live 5 times a day, um, there's just no avoiding it. You just can't avoid it. Hey, Puss in Boots. So I'm going to try something a little bit different tonight, okay? And at the end, I'd like for you all to go into the comments under this live stream and tell me how I did. No need to say you suck because that's so like yesterday's news. Any constructive criticism, I'll take. But there's really no need to say I suck. Okay, I got it. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to discuss a case that's in jury selection right now. We're going to discuss it for a few minutes, and then we're going to move on to a topic that is a debatable topic. Hey, Angela. If when we move on to that topic, if anybody would like to come on panel and have a reasonable discussion, I'm all for it. No hollering, no screaming, just a reasonable discussion because so many people feel so differently about this. So what we're going to talk about, first of all, let me say I was very disappointed in the coroner's press conference today. I know there's only certain things he can say. I get it. I can't believe out of all the intelligent people that called in, not one person asked if Gabby had defensive wounds. He probably wouldn't have answered it. But I still believe in justice for Gabby. And I still believe that someday Brian Laundrie will have to answer in a court of law to what happened out there in the Tetons. So, hey, Sergeant Blackrock. Oh, I'd be pissed off too. Well, you didn't miss nothing, Puss in Boots. She died of strangulation. That was all he would say. Hey, Flower Lady. So, like I said, I really try to be courteous and not go live when others are live. But some of these people go live 4 or 5 times a day. And I'm sorry, it can't be avoided. I've had this live planned all day, and I wasn't gonna change it. I'm notorious for changing my live streams to avoid, running over anybody else. But so first, let me also say a happy birthday to Mar. Mar is one of the sweetest, strongest women that I know. And although she hasn't been around much, she's dealing with, real life issues. I want to wish her a happy birthday. Anybody that knows Mar knows she's one of the nicest people on here. I don't think she's ever said an unkind word in a chat. She's just, I don't throw these words around lightly when it comes to my YouTube people. But I love Mar. Yes, Puss in Boots twin. Well, Mar says we're triplets now, but yes, we love you, Mar. And I pray every day that life gets a little lighter for her, a little better, and that she'll be able to come back. So, has anybody in the chat heard of Markeith Loyd? Yay, nay? Okay. Markeith Loyd is a man. I believe this was in 2017. Hey, Dova. Um, he's a man that when I was still living in Florida, I wasn't far from Orlando, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes. I was on the Space Coast. Uh, he shot and killed his pregnant girlfriend. And really, when it comes to his story, and you guys can pull up YouTube videos on all of this. Um, hey, Sasmar, when it comes to his original story about the killing of his girlfriend and unborn child, I actually had reasonable doubt because he really wanted that baby. And the reason that him and Sade had separated was because allegedly, hello, Scottish Bluebell, allegedly, Sade was smoking pot while pregnant, and he had a problem with that. So he allegedly gets a call from Sade to come over to her house, her mama's house. Hiya. And gunfire was exchanged, and sadly, Sade lost her life as well as the unborn child that belonged to Markeith Loyd. So I followed this, and this whole time, it was all over the news. So he ran and hid like Brian Laundrie, except he wasn't able to get that far away. You can go on YouTube and you can watch his capture. I do believe in his capture that there was police brutality, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So while he was out on the lam, he went into, hello, Zam. He went into a Walmart and he had on a security shirt, and someone recognized him. And there was an officer who had just gotten off duty. So she was still in her uniform. And someone approached her and said, hey, I think that guy right there, as they were walking out, is Markeith Loyd. And because there was a manhunt for him, she went to approach him. Gunfire broke out, and he shot Officer Dixon while she was on the ground. So now he's in jury selection. He got 2 life sentences for the killing of Sade and his unborn child. And he's in jury selection right now. You can watch it on Law and Crime for the death penalty for shooting the officer while she was on the ground. Witnesses testified to the fact the officer was down. So he's up for the death penalty. Like I said, they're covering the case on Law and Crime. If you want to watch it, this will be his second trial. He's kind of a nutcase. He petitioned the courts to represent himself in this case, his death penalty case. He's been advised not to do it. So now they're going to take the insanity plea. If you watch his first trial, you'll see that he was very capable of participating in his first trial. But again, I will give him credit that I did have reasonable doubt in his first trial because Sade was known to carry a gun also. His claim was that she pulled the gun, they squabbled over it, and she ended up getting shot. So if you want to tune in to the Markeith Loyd, I know I'm going to follow it because I've been following it since day one. So he went on the run. You can YouTube his capture. They found him in an abandoned house not far from where he committed the crime. So he didn't leave the scene of the crime very far. He stayed within his own territory. And when he come crawling out on his belly, of course, the police Oh, I know. Jury selection. I don't know that they can find a jury to give him a fair trial. And I believe if Brian Laundrie is ever brought up on charges for the death of Gabby, they'll also have a real hard time finding a jury for a fair trial. And we're going to talk about that a little bit too, how the media plays truth. What would be a gift of thanks to the family that done an incredible job of handling the situation over my niece, called and brought her to me. Well, Sergeant Blackrock, there's so many things out there. I mean, a simple thank you card, but I don't know. What about an edible arrangement? I mean, I don't know. It's fruit. Doesn't everybody like fruit? I mean, I probably wouldn't send sweets in case somebody in the home is diabetic or something, but hey, Dog Mom. I mean, I don't know. Something like that, maybe. I don't know how much money you planned on spending. Oh, I think it'll last every bit of a week because they're having a real hard time seating a jury because of the publicity. He's already been through one trial, and now it's the death penalty, which we're going to discuss. Okay? Because I am so torn. Well, I'm just glad she made it home safely, Sergeant Blackrock. And those are very nice neighbors. So a personal thank you might be in order there. Because with what's going on with kids in this country right now and the way they're disappearing, I'm thankful, and I know you're thankful, that she was safe and brought home safe. See, I still believe the majority of the people in this world are good people. That's just the way I like to look at things. So, how do you put a 1 in the chat if you believe in the death penalty? Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. Put a 3 in the chat if you're undecided. 1, you believe. 2, you don't. 3, undecided. I love Lucy 1, Winky 1. Scottish Bluebell 1. Sasmar undecided. Hello, I love Lucy. British Chippy says no. Hey, Christy. Pixie Dust says no. Oh, Pixie Dust says undecided. Okay, enjoy your hubby, Winky. Zam says, what was number 2? 1 was no, 2 was yes. 1 was yes, 2 was no. Okay. And like I said, we can definitely have people on panel to discuss this. Flower Lady is undecided. But first, I want to talk about some cases. Hey, Kathy. Okay, Winky, we'll be here. Kathy gave a 3. Has anyone heard of the case? I want to say John Crimes did a documentary on it. But has anyone heard of the case of George Stinney Jr.? George Stinney Jr. was a black child growing up in South Carolina. He was born in 1929. He was executed in 1944. He was 14 years old 14 years old. Now, since then, we have laws in place that you can't execute minors. "77 years later, his conviction was overturned. "77 years later. It took a jury less than 10 minutes to decide that this 14-year-old took the life of two little girls. Now, in this town, the black sector and the white sector were separated because, this was before segregation and all that. The white sector and black sector were divided by railroad tracks. And it says that Betty June and Mary Emma were walking down the tracks and they were looking for maypops, which are flowers. And that they were on the black side of the tracks. They ran into George and his sister and asked where they could find maypops. And basically, because of that, George had spoken to the little girls. His dad had actually participated in the hunt for the killer of the little girls. They arrested George. It took them 10 minutes, an all-white jury. Hey, Nika. It took an all-white jury 10 minutes to decide this kid's fate, which was execution. So, 77 years later, 77 years later, his family was not allowed to see him the whole time he was locked up, which was only 80-something days from the day he was charged to the day he was put to death, was like 87 days. Okay, Sergeant Blackrock. So, hey, Pepper, when I'm talking about the death penalty, how do we give back the Stinney family what they lost? His mother went to her grave. They had to leave town out of fear of being lynched. His mother went to her grave knowing that her son was innocent. His father went to his grave knowing that his son was innocent. And he was 14 years old. He was so small that they had to set him up on books and things so that the cap of the electric chair actually fit him. And we're going to get into that, Sunnyside, because George Stinney may be the youngest person ever executed in the United States that is innocent, but he's not the only. So we're going to get into the reasonable doubt, okay? We all know that in a court of law, in order to find somebody guilty, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, most people know that crimes are not caught on video. Rarely is there a crime caught on video. It is heartbreaking. There's actually a movie out called, there's a documentary out called like 87 Days or whatever, but I can't find it anywhere. It's still in the, I think it's still in like the Sundance, what do you call those things? Movie premieres or whatever. I can't find it anywhere. But there's also a movie out called something South Carolina. that you can watch, and it's based off of the story. There are some differences in it, but yeah, I remember, I think I watched John's documentary on it too. We are not God and human and fallible. Yes, we are. And anytime human beings run a system such as our justice system, um, there's going to be mistakes. But at what price? Uh, at what price do we? I'm trying to look up that movie for you all. I know I can't text and talk at the same time. Carolina Skeletons, okay, is the name of it. So if you get a chance to watch it, it's an older movie, but it's worth watching. At what price? Because I've always been the type that I would rather see 10 guilty men walk free. And when I say men, that includes women, than one innocent person be imprisoned. One mistake is one too many. I totally agree with you, Pepper. We have people getting out of prison off death row right now that have spent 35, 40 years in prison. How, as a society, do we give that back to them? And then if we take their loved one, because, hey, Kathy, that's our law. If we take their loved one and they're actually innocent, how do we fix that? In my opinion, it's got to go deeper in a death penalty case than reasonable doubt, than beyond reasonable doubt. It's got to go deeper than that. Maybe without a doubt, Sunnyside, but it's got to go deeper than reasonable doubt, because any good prosecutor can plant reasonable doubt. Or any good prosecutor can make people say something that they would never say. Defense attorneys, that's their job, is to plant reasonable doubt. Yeah, I mean defense. So what do we do? How do, if you don't think that the American justice system needs an overhaul, then I don't know what to think. And what qualifies for a death penalty case? Why in some cases someone kills a child, they're found guilty, they get the death penalty. Someone else kills a child, they're found guilty, and they get life with the opportunity of parole. Why does it work that way? I mean, I don't get it. Cameron Todd Willingham was executed in the state of Texas. He pleaded his innocence all along. He was accused of burning his house down with his kids in it. After execution, Texas says, oops. Oops. Hey, Wildflower. And remember, you're putting the life of these people in the hands of 12 of your peers. Now, they can go in there and they can say anything they want during jury selection. They can say they do believe in it, they don't believe in it, they believe when it's appropriate. They're not racist when in reality they are. They can say anything they want. Yeah, Angela, it does depend on who represents you. And it also comes down to money. You'll notice that the majority of the people that get the death penalty are poor. So let's talk about, okay, put a 1 in the chat if you think SA against a child is death penalty warranted. Kathy says definitely. Or maybe she's still on the other question. Death penalty is warranted on SA of a child. So far, everybody has put 1. And why is that? Because children are meant to be protected. That's what we're supposed to do with our future. But let me give you an example. At 15, 16 years old, I was built like a brick shit house. I was going into bars using a fake ID. What if, which this didn't happen, but what if I lied to a man about my age and we had intercourse and then I want to cry wolf? So, is it really death penalty warranted? Or is it just based on an age of a child? No, I agree. That is not a sexual predator, but it happens every day. It happens all the time. 14-year-olds today can look 18, no problem. Right, Kathy, I agree. But you saw all the ones in the chat that said it should be a death penalty for SA against a child. Sunnyside says, then my answer would be no. Yes, there are mitigating and aggravating factors in every case. You're right, Pepper. In every case, there are mitigating and aggravating factors. So you have to take each and every one of those into consideration. But we're back to, if you kill a child, should it be death penalty? Should it be automatic death penalty? Not trying to be mean, but look at John Bonet, of course. I agree, facts have to be gone over. But even when the facts are presented in court, sometimes we get it wrong. I agree, Hooked on Phonics, that crying wolf is a false accusation. But how are you going to prove me wrong? I'm the victim. So how are you going to prove me wrong? How are you going to prove that I made a false accusation? Yes, the man is going to get on the stand and claim, or his attorney is going to claim that, Tracy, you didn't answer my question about Mark Redwine. Although I believe Mark is guilty, I'm torn on whether he deserves the death penalty or not. But I'm always torn because, hey, Top Cop, because we really don't know the circumstances behind it. It shouldn't matter because, yes, Sasmar, because his son was a child and Mark was his parent and an adult. Do you think he deserves the death penalty? Puss in Boots? Because that's what I'm saying. If anybody wants to come up here and explain why they feel the way they do about this, I'm all ears. Exactly, full-on hypocrisy. He was. British Chippy says, no matter the case, no death penalty for me. We are not God, and I think those that have to carry out the punishment will carry karma, just me. You know what, British Chippy? I've wondered about that too. You know, if you're a religious person, it says in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill. So the executioner, no death penalty for him. That's reserved for the worst of the worst. Okay, full on hypocrisy. I mean, I wasn't being a smartass. I was like, okay, I appreciate you even being in here and participating, since there's probably 15 lives going on about something else. Hey, Real World Podcast. Go over there and check him out. He just put out the fifth episode of Mato, who killed 4 people, and I ain't digging that guy at all. I'm torn. I think the death penalty would be the easy way out. He needs to live with what he did, but he's so evil, it wouldn't matter. I agree, Hooked on Phonics, that that DNA has come a very long way. That's what's freeing a lot of people who are sitting in prison right now on false convictions. It's DNA is freeing pretty much everybody that if they're in there on a false conviction. And thank God for the advances they've made in DNA. The death penalty is too easy and quick. Well, a lot of people believe, Rel, that the death penalty is cheaper. Let me tell you something. Look at the price of what it takes to carry out the death penalty versus life in prison. You'd be shocked. And it's a proven fact that the death penalty does not deter crime. It does not deter crime. That's a proven fact. He never will own what he did, Sasmar. You're right. So for all these people that's saying, oh my God, we got to support them while they sit in prison for 25, 30 years while they're getting through their appeals. Look it up. It's not cheaper to kill somebody. You're right. Death penalty appeals can go on for years. Thank you, Samara, for your. Samara says, as a Christian who takes my Protestant faith seriously, I don't believe in the death penalty. See, I can honestly say years ago, I did. And I can honestly sit here and say, if someone took my loved one from me, would I? I don't know. Thank you, Pepper. Support the stream. I need your comments underneath this live. Throw me a like, throw me a thumbs up, throw me a thumbs down. Come on. My channel is flailing, so I thought I'd give this a chance. And if anybody would like to come on panel to talk to me about this, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Is it your religious beliefs that, because what's the saying? An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Full on hypocrisy. I believe in the death penalty wholeheartedly as long as there wasn't a sliver of doubt. Okay, but we don't have that in our judicial system. Our judicial system is beyond a reasonable doubt. That's all that has to be proven, even in a death penalty case. So, okay, Real World says if you harm a kid, an old person, or a woman, you should automatically face the death penalty. But I agree with you, full on hypocrisy, about your bar, because when it comes to the death penalty, I think it has to go deeper than beyond a reasonable doubt. I feel that way. So I totally agree with you, full on hypocrisy. And like I said, we talked about George Stinney. We talked about Willingham in Texas. So you take an innocent life, and then what do? How do we give it back to them? There's no amount of money. Can anybody in here put a price tag on their loved ones? And trust me, it could happen to anybody in here. At any given time, you could be falsely accused of a crime. Okay, Rawl says all rapists should face the death penalty. Full on hypocrisy says Markeith Loyd, death penalty all the way. See, I'm not disagreeing with any of you all. And so far, full on hypocrisy, other than what they just said, Markeith Loyd, death penalty all the way, which I don't know that I disagree with it. That's why I wanted to have this talk. I want to know people's feelings on the hot topics. And I really do feel like that one innocent person put to death is too many. So how do we as a society fix it? How do we get justice reform? Delphi Killer, I think a lot will want the death penalty. Oh, I totally agree with you. They're going to want the death penalty. Well, I mean, that's what's on the table, full on hypocrisy. If they can set a jury, you got to remember that's another thing we've got to take into account. Years ago, we didn't have all of this social media and so can people like uh, Brian Laundrie. Can he get a fair trial now? Can he? I mean, can he? Do you feel like he can get a fair trial? Anybody? Because that's everybody's entitled to that. That's part of our constitutional rights. I don't know. There is justice reform for those who don't live in Texas. No one is executed anymore. Well, there's a lot of people sitting on death row in many states, minus Texas. And if you go in and see who's up for execution, it will tell you. Now, I will tell you that pharmaceutical companies are getting a little bit more standoffish on who they sell these drugs to. Yeah, the Sam Shepard case, yes. But there's always different forms of, I mean, they can just totally take uh, lethal injection off the table and go back to the gas chamber, the electric chair, the firing squad. You can still choose in some states out west if you prefer a firing squad. The Rosenberg's case, both got the chair for passing secrets to the Russians. What about Nicholas Cruz, the shooter from Parkland in Florida? No, Puss in Boots. I don't believe that kid should get the death penalty. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't believe mentally that kid is all there. And God forbid, I can only speak for me. I cannot speak for the parents of those who lost their children in that shooting or any other shooting. But I can say this with certainty. If my child was killed in a school shooting by somebody like Nicholas Cruz, I would not vote for the death penalty. Look at Manson on death row. Here's the thing with Manson, though. Manson could never be proven to have participated in any of the crimes. Manson had other people commit his crimes. So even though they say Manson was crazy, he was actually a genius. But did he even belong on death row? Now, I don't want people running with the fact, oh my God, the truth loves Manson. I'm not saying that. I'm saying by law, did Charles Manson belong on death row? Because he never ever committed a crime himself. He had other people doing it. I know, British Chippy. Someone will clip that and say, the truth loves Charlie Manson. No, really, it's not another subject full on hypocrisy. Conspiracy equals culpable. Okay. My point is, just because you get the death penalty doesn't mean you ever get the death penalty. That's true. That's true. A lot of people die on death row from old age. Okay, how do you feel about this? Two people commit a crime. Okay, I don't know if you've ever seen Into the Abyss, but two people commit a crime. They both use weapons, they both kill. One cops a plea, the other one gets put to death. How do you guys feel about that? One cops a plea, but the other one gets put to death. One turns on the other one, both guilty of the exact same crime. It's not like one was just along for the ride. You would need to know the specifics. Okay, well, I can give them to you in a it's Warner Herzog did a documentary on it. The crime was committed by Jason Burkett and Michael Perry. They wanted a car, a Camaro, I believe it was. They both went to the home asking the lady who was making cookies if they could use the phone. She, nice enough to let them use the phone. They left, still wanted the car. So they went back. They killed the woman. They ended up killing her son and his friend. So 3 people lost their life over a Camaro. And then there was basically a shootout with police and blah, blah, blah. You can watch it on Into the Abyss, full on hypocrisy. But both shot guns. Both took lives. One ends up in prison for the rest of his life. One loses his life. What's your good news, British Chippy? Life isn't fair. You get into those situations, whatever happens after that happens. Full on hypocrisy, do you want to come up? Only because I'm really digging your comments. Because my phone dropped into the toilet after I peed and it still works. Yes! That calls for celebration. Because your comment to me is kind of interesting. Life isn't fair. You get into those situations, whatever happens after that happens. So, thank you, Pepper. Oh, I know you didn't mean a laughing emoji. Okay, so in some states, let's say you and I were in the car together. Hey, Cindy. No, but I'm going to check it out. I'm going to screenshot that right now. I'm kind of in the middle of the Markeith Loyd trial right now. But, okay, so let's say me and Full On Hypocrisy are in the car together. We're just driving around, maybe doing some edibles or something. Who knows? And full on, I pull in to a grocery store. Okay. Thank you, Cindy. I pull into a grocery store. Now, Full On Hypocrisy has no idea what my intentions are. And I rob the grocery store. And I kill somebody in the process. In the state of Indiana, you're just as guilty as the person that pulled the trigger. And that's in a lot of states. That's not just messed up Indiana. Is that just? Is that true and just? I would need a good lawyer. Yeah, but you didn't do anything wrong other than you got in the car with me. I'm supposed to be your friend. I should have never put you in that position. But are you saying that's fair? That that would happen? Because earlier you said life's not fair, and I agree with you. Life's not fair. But if you had nothing to do with the crime at all, why would you need a good lawyer? That's what I'm talking about. We need so much. If you are telling me I'm still culpable, I need a great lawyer. Yeah, but I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you that I'm going in the store to rob it. I'm telling you that I'm going in the store to get a Reese cup. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some Funyuns. You want anything? You say, yeah, pull, get me a pop. But no, it is what happened. Because I didn't tell you I was going to rob it. No, I was talking about they both did the same thing in the Michael Perry and Jason Burkett. But if I don't tell you, in some states, you're just as culpable as I am when I go into that store and I rob it and I kill someone, even though you had absolutely no idea. Oh, okay. Okay, full on hypocrisy. When I say that, okay, full on hypocrisy, it sounds like I'm being a smartass, but I'm really not. I would need better friends. Yeah, but I done got you into this mess. You can be culpable, but not automatic. Sunny said, yes, pick your friends better. I'm a good friend. I would never rob a store. Well, I can't say that I wouldn't if it meant to feed my child. I might try to slide something. If I was that desperate that my child was hungry, I might try to slide something out of the store. I don't know. This is where we get deep into our moral compasses. I agree on the shootout thing. If you get into a shootout with police, then whatever happens, happens. Because I back the blue, but I also know that there are some police officers that aren't straight up honest. I mean, I think Derek Chauvin deserved to go to prison. I'm sorry. I mean, I back the blue. But just like there's bad doctors, there's good doctors. There's bad lawyers, there's good lawyers. There's bad car salesmen, there's good car salesmen. No, take the car salesmen off the thing. There's no good car salesman. They're all cheats. But there's good cops and there's bad cops because they're human beings. And now, in the state of this country, there's bad YouTubers, there's good YouTubers. In the state of this country, cops are scared. But so is your average black man. Right. There's bad people everywhere. You're right. So back to the death penalty. Do you think we need reform? Do you think we need to totally take it off the table? Because I'm just not comfortable to be someone that gets to decide when someone dies. No, you think we need to start enforcing it. Okay, full on hypocrisy. I'm so glad you're here because you're really keeping this going. Reform in every state. I totally agree with you, Sunnyside. No, I think we need to start enforcing it. But when we get in a rush to enforce it, then mistakes get made and innocent people get killed. And we can't give that back to anybody. We can't put a dollar amount on someone's life. You know, so when we get into, well, I think they should just, we should get down to business and start taking care of them. Need better jurors. Okay, but you understand, we're jurors. They put idiots on juries. Well, I can attest to one jury that is totally a bunch of idiots. And please go watch the closing of the, what is her name? The little girl that got burned up in, what is her name? Tawanda's real big on that case. Jessica Chambers, yes. Now, I've never seen a trial end like that. Yes, I've seen hung juries, never where a judge has explained what unanimous means. And they come out not once, but twice. Yeah, Tawanda's working her butt off, man. COVID's been kicking her family and the shop, the people that work in the shop's butt. So she's been, yeah. If you ever get the chance to watch the end of that trial, watch Dolores Claiborne and Brubaker last night. Truth, this topic hit the nail on the head. Oh, okay. So Jessica Chambers to this day has no justice because we had idiots on a jury that didn't know what the word unanimous meant, obviously, because they turn in the jury. They're ready to come into the courtroom. The judge says, you've reached a unanimous verdict. And then you start getting people popping up saying, I didn't say that. That's not my verdict. So he explains unanimous. Thank you, full on hypocrisy. He explains unanimous again. They go in, they come out, same thing. Boom, mistrial. Second one, hung jurors. Now he's sitting in prison on another charge of killing another woman in another state. But Jessica Chambers still has no justice. And I believe that we do have the best system in the world. I believe in that. But I also believe that it needs an overhaul. Times change. Things change. DNA has come so far. And I was so disappointed today, again, that no one asked the question if Gabby had defense wounds. And maybe had they had asked it, the man would have said he couldn't answer it, because that's pretty much what he said about everything. And maybe it'll come out later if ever gets brought to trial. I believe everybody deserves justice. Everyone wronged in this country deserves justice. See, British, I didn't hear not one person ask that question, but thank you. He said he couldn't answer it. So there you go. I mean, I'm like screaming it in the chat of JB and them. I'm like, is that his name, JB or JD? I think it's JB. Please, someone ask him if she had defense wounds. But, okay, so someone asked it and I missed it. So someone asked earlier if we could do a stream on gun laws. And yes, we most certainly can do a stream on gun laws, because I have a lot of wishy-washy thoughts on that as well. Yeah, justice for all. It is the American way. Yes, British, we can definitely do a stream on gun laws, because I am wishy-washy on that as well. I believe in our First Amendment. Is it our first? You have the right to bear arms. I'm pro-gun. But, and I'm a firm believer that guns don't kill. People kill. A gun has never gotten up, walked out of your living room, went to the street, and killed somebody. Hey, Top Cop, you booted yourself. But I am pro-gun, Second Amendment. Thank you, Puss in Boots. See, I'm glad I didn't try to say which commandment thou shalt not kill is. No, you're right, British Chippy. The American way is to say you're the land of the free, but you've got the most incarcerated people. No shade. No shade taken, because you're right. And let me tell you why I feel like we have the most people incarcerated. It's because there is no reform in prison. It's no longer what it was meant to be. Prison was a place to go and turn your life around. Now, 9 times out of 10, you go to prison, you just learn how to be a better criminal. So, no shade taken. And I'd love to talk to you about it. And I'd love to go into this deeper. And we will, if you guys want. We can. I appreciate everybody that came in here to shoot the shit with me and give me some things to think about, because it hasn't changed the fact that I'm still wishy-washy on, yes, you can. You can get a degree in prison. Yes, you can, Angela. Private prisons and politicians and judges owning stock in them. You got it, Sergeant Blackrock. You got it. That's where things are going wrong. So, like I said again, I appreciate all you guys coming in here. This is just a prelude to what I want to do with my channel, which is to talk a little bit about crime. No, I don't want to be a full-on crime channel. We have so many of those. But I like to talk about topics that are controversial. And we have so many people on YouTube that are from different countries that here and there, because a lot of countries think that the death penalty is barbaric. They don't believe in it. It's not part of their judicial system. Yeah, you're right, Sergeant Blackrock. They are. But again, I appreciate you guys coming in here. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to repeat myself. I don't want to become a full-on crime channel. I don't. Will we still, hey, Lady Slipper, will we still talk about crime a little bit? Yes, we will. My whole direction that I'm trying to go is to talk about topics that are controversial. Because, thank you, Angela. Thank you. And like I said, please leave a comment under my live stream. Even if you didn't watch it and you just lurked, which there's not even that many lurking. But if you catch it on the replay, please, yes, healthy debates without screaming, hollering, or calling each other the C word. Because there are so many controversial things out there. And I love the fact that we have people from all over the world on YouTube who can get on a panel and explain the way things happen. Thanks, Sunnyside. In their country, and why it's so different than our country and our politics. I appreciate you guys so much for supporting my channel. Leave a comment if there's something else I can do. If there's a different way I can do it, please let me know. Yes, British, we will definitely do a stream on gun laws. I will tell you right now, my stance is I'm pro-gun. With stipulations. With stipulations. But I am not going to go to a city like Chicago where there's more killings, there's more murders on a daily basis that has banned guns from the honest citizens when you can't get them out of the hands of the criminals. Me too, Sergeant Blackrock. As you can tell from my community post, when I thought I saw Brian Laundrie walking down my street. But with that, I'm just trying it, to turn my channel into, and yes, there's always going to be a little bit of drama. Always going to be a little bit of drama. Yes, people kill people, not guns. Can we get Wendy V in on this? I'm anti, and she probably, well, of course. We'll have to try to work it around her schedule. So we'll have to do a morning debate. That was a funny story. That was a really nice man who went and got those pictures for me, too. That's true, Angela. I mean, we have American veterans right now hanging the Black American flag. That's scary. That's scary. Look into that. We'll talk about that, too. When we have U.S. veterans that have served this country and fought for that red, white, and blue and everything that goes along with it, and with tears in their eyes, they are taking down the red, white, and blue and putting up the Black American flag. Check it out. We'll talk about it. Guys, I appreciate you coming in here. I appreciate you supporting my stream. If you think this is a way I can take my channel, please let me know in the comments. Don't tell me I suck, okay? Because like I said, that's like yesterday's news. If you think, you know, Tracy, I just don't think this is for you, I'm okay with that. I promise I won't cry. It is sad, Sunnyside. I've seen several of those flags flying, and it's really sad. Sergeant Blackrock's got his black flying, his black flag. And that could lead to very serious consequences. But that's for another live stream. I just wanted to pitch this to you guys. I appreciate the ones that took out the time to come in here. I know there's probably lives going on everywhere about the, you know, the Gabby, the Summer Wells. I do wish everybody out there that's seeking justice gets their justice. I just want to know, what is fair justice, and why do we get to determine that? So, guys, I appreciate you all so much, and I will be scheduling another live here. And for British Chippy, it will probably be on gun control and gun laws, and or maybe the black flag issue. I don't know yet, but I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys around the tubes.